So we've been talking a lot about proactive strategies, ways that we as parents can come around our children and really empower them, ways that we can connect with them. We empower them through regular times of nutrition, hydration, movement, sensory input, rest. Those things are important to our children. It makes them feel secure and it sets them up for success. We also talked about connecting. We want to make sure that we have intentional times of connection with our children each and every day. And throughout the day, we want to spend time together. We want to make sure we're reading together, cuddling together, playing together, doing things together. We want to stick together. We want to have fun. That's what builds relationship, and that's what makes those connections happen. In our home, we have been blessed with a precious 4-year-old that's staying with us. And no matter how much we try to be proactive so that we don't have to be reactive, there are times during her day where she has a meltdown. And maybe that happens at your house too. Maybe you as a parent are thinking, I really am coming around my child. I'm really trying to empower them. I spend so much time trying to connect with them, but yet I'm still noticing that we're having meltdowns. I want to remind you that as a parent, we are always to be studying our children, to be looking at them, to be observing them. What are the triggers for meltdowns? What are things that seem to be agitating? And work around those things. Try to be a detective. Remember that for your child, you're a coach. You're not a warden. So you always want to be cheering them on. You want to be watching them. You want to be looking for things that they are doing great. But when these meltdowns occur, when things happen wrongly, when wrong behavior occurs, then you want to come at it with an ideal response. The I stands for immediate. You want to address wrong or right behavior within 3 seconds. This is very helpful in reinforcing what you want to teach. You want to catch children at being good, and if they've made a wrong choice, you want to be within 3 feet of them so you see it right away, you address it right away. You want to be immediate. The D stands for direct. You want to be direct in your response. This means that your children have 100% of your attention. You're not distracted by looking down at a phone. You're not somewhere else in the house yelling, giving directions from afar. No, you are direct. You've got good eye contact. That child is looking at you with their big, beautiful eyes, and you are looking right at them. You are making direct contact. So important. So I, immediate. D, direct. E is efficient. We want to be efficient. We don't need to go after a mosquito like it's an elephant. We don't need to give a 20-minute lecture on the importance of making your bed in the morning. We want to use an economy of words. We want to say what we mean and mean what we say. We want to keep things simple and clear so children can understand. If a child is running and we want them to walk, we can say, let's use our walking feet. We can always state things in the positive, and we want to be careful that we don't get stuck. You know what I mean by stuck? Stuck is when you find yourself repeating over and over, or if you find yourself in a lecture mode, that's when you know you're getting stuck. So we want to keep it immediate, direct, efficient, and A, action-based. This is probably one of my favorite strategies with children, is to give them the opportunity to do it again correctly. This is very important because research tells us that if children have the opportunity to do it again, that it's going to stick in their brain, in their body. Memory is going to increase, and we want to always emphasize how to do it correctly. Listen, if all we're doing is telling kids no, and that's wrong, and you shouldn't do it that way, how are they going to learn? We must take time to teach them how to do it correctly. And notice I said time, because this does take a little bit of time. Not a lot of time. And if you're consistent with it, you'll notice that you don't have to do it. You might spend a lot of time on the front end, but later on you won't have to repeat things so often. This morning I had a great example of this. I was taking my daughter to school, and she asked me if we could please stop and get apples, because we didn't have any apples at home. And we had bananas and all kinds of other fruits, oranges, other things that we had, but she wanted an apple. And so I said, I would be happy to stop and get you an apple. So we drove to the local QT. They sell fresh fruit there sometimes. And I handed her $2, and she said, what's the $2 for? And I said, well, sweetie, that's for your apples. And she just kind of and took it from me. And I said, whoa, Nellie, let's try that again. When somebody gives you something, what should you say? And she said, thank you. And I said, that's right. So I handed her the $2 again. And this time, she looked at me and she said, thank you, Mom. And I said, you're so welcome. Give me $5. So she had the opportunity to do it over. She could correct it and respond to me in the right way. So the next time I give her something, whether it's money for apples or whether it's something else, then she knows the proper way to respond. So we have immediate, we have direct, we have efficient, we have action-based. We want that body memory there. We want to teach kids the right way. And L is leveled at the behavior, but not at the child. If a child does something, this morning when my daughter just took the $2, I could have, you're such an ungrateful child. Don't you appreciate all that I've done for you? That would be so destructive. What we don't want to do is be destructive with our words. We want to be instructive. And so we always want to level it at the behavior, not at the child. We don't want to use phrases like, you're always so, or I'm tired of. We want to address the wrong behavior. We want to call that out. But we always want to affirm our children and speak words of life and truth and affirmation into them. So we want to level at the behavior, but not at the child. And by doing these things, the I, immediate, D, direct, A, action-based, E, efficient, L, leveled at behavior, not at the child. When we have an ideal response to our children, then they, in turn, will have an ideal response back to us. And so, at the end of any time that we're correcting our children, we want 3 things. We want that child to feel even more connected to us than they did before. You know, when our loving Heavenly Father corrects us, I know how I feel. I don't feel like He's mad at me or He's ashamed of me. I feel like He loves me and He's pursuing me and He wants to be connected with me. That's how our children need to feel. We want their hearts to be changed. We want their behavior to be changed. We want to know that they understand what went wrong and how they can do it right. We want that connection. We want heart change. And we want there to be a sense of contentment where that relationship is still there. and where the child feels even a deeper sense of contentment and connection with us.